What's up, everybody? Big D coming back at you for another interview series. Although tonight's a little bit of a different type of show tonight. Tonight we're going to be sitting down with a friend of the show, Ira Lee from the Boutique Cigar. He's got some custom blends he's working on that could possibly be out there for future blends. And we're going to try them out and see what we think about them. See if they're worthy. Any changes need to be made. We'll also answer any of your questions when it comes to blending, if you have that as well. And Gus Martinez from West Tampa is also going to be joining us. They have a great partnership going on, and we'll catch up there. If you're a big fan of West Tampa, I am out there. But before we get the show started, make sure you click the link tree that's pinned in the comment section or down in the description. Go support my advertisers, sponsors, and preferred retail partners. They help continue to keep all the programming going on the show. Your support does go a long way in making sure that happens. Whether you're looking for cigars, whether you're looking for accessories, I got you covered. Use the exclusive promo codes that are only available to my viewers out there to save yourself some coinage. Also, a reminder, Dallas Smokefest coming up November 5th through 9th. I'll be back, second year. I'm excited to be there. At last check, I was told that there's only like 2 or 3 early bird VIP tickets left, so you better jump on that. Better get on it quick. When you check out, you use that promo code 505REVIEW. That'll save you coinage when you check out. That's right. You're already getting a discounted VIP ticket, and then you're saving additional money on top of that by using that promo code. And if you're coming in from out of town, you might want to go stay at the host hotel. It's the Omni in downtown Dallas. Yeah, there's a special block of rooms available for DSF participants that are going in. So, you better get it. I'm told that there's only a few rooms left under the DSF block. So you better jump on that too. Go book your room. They're practically giving that away. If you don't book into it, you're going to be staying with me, at the Motel 6 somewhere in the hood in Dallas. So jump on it. So DallasSmokefest.com, promo code 505REVIEW, and the Omni in downtown Dallas. Go take advantage of the DSF pricing. So let's bring our guests on tonight. Let's bring on Mr. Ira Lee. And
hey, Big D.
Mr. Gus Martinez. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you guys on.
What's going on, buddy? Good to be here tonight.
Good to be here. Yes. So, the people of the show, they know about Ira. We'll get to Ira, but Gus, I'll hand it over to you. Introduce yourself and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks a lot, guys, for the invitation to join you tonight. Been looking forward to this. Yeah, so it's interesting. West Tampa, Rick Rodriguez and I, our story goes back a little over a decade now. Rick and I worked together at General Cigar for a number of years, where I think, as many of your viewers probably know, Rick was the mastermind behind CAO, Flathead, Bones, among other great blends that General put out under the CAO banner. And Rick and I worked real close together when we were at General Cigar. And I left General back in, I want to say it was 2013. And I was doing some consulting for other folks in the industry. Rick always jokes around, I'm kind of the wizard behind the curtain. Well, I think, Rick is the face of West Tampa. I'm the guy in the background, kind of, the puppeteer, if you will, kind of working on the business end of it. But Rick and I started West Tampa back in 2022 and really haven't looked back since. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary in June. And the response by all of Rick's fans and everybody in the industry has been amazing. So big shout out and thanks to everybody who's a supporter of West Tampa.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan. And Rick and I go back a little ways, too, on that. And I saw in 2022 when he was in Denver for Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, he tracked me down, gave me a big hug, and said thank you for really supporting, because it was just, it wasn't long after he left that it was just like, what's he going to do? And then West Tampa popped up, and I immediately was like, Rick, tell me what I can do to help you guys out, man, because I'm a big fan and a big supporter of what you guys do out there. And him and Sarah are two of probably the most genuine, nice people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely. In fact, I talked to Rick this morning. He's actually in Europe right now. He was just out attending the Intertabac show in Germany, and he and his wife are taking a little bit of a workcation. Split Croatia today. He's doing an event tomorrow night, and then he's going to spend a few days in Split, and then head up to London, where he's going to do a couple of events and hopefully get some R&R while he's out there. But he wanted me to say hi to everybody and thank you.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, Rick always has a place and a home here on this channel, no matter what.
Well, appreciate it. And I also wanted to say thank you to Ira for introducing me and inviting me along with you on the show today. Really appreciate it, Ira.
We to be we're both boutique blends to be boutique companies, and we both put out quality cigars. And I felt it was a great partnership, bringing West Tampa under the TBC. We've been selling the heck out of your cigars as well. It gives my customers another brand that they can look forward to and know they're going to get quality when they order from me. So we look forward to doing a lot more things together, maybe a collaboration down the road, and blending some cigars together is definitely a bright future for West Tampa Tobacco and the boutique cigar.
Great.
Yes, and of course, Ira and the boutique cigar just isn't a custom blend seller out there or brand. Also, full scale retail shop as well online. So sells all the big brands that you want, all the small brands that you want. It's prices. I gotta tell you, I don't know how you're in business, man. Your pricing on some of that stuff, I'm like, man, shh.
Just let me get involved in shipping and packing, and we work well together. And it's been she's an amazing person to begin with. That's why I married her, right? But we work well together. That's not something that marriage doesn't always blend well when it comes to business. Sometimes it gets a little stressful, but we get through it. But she's very smart. She's good at what she does. So she makes sure that all our customers get handwritten thank yous and gets everything wrapped up in a bow and shipped out in a nice vinyl bag. She does a really nice job making sure it's personalized, and customers become friends, and that's what it's all about. But,
that was one thing, Ira, that really impressed me when you told me that you do personalized letters for each one of your customers. I think, I wish we could do that for all of ours. Unfortunately, I think my hand would be sore, but I think that's really cool that you guys do that.
Yeah, I think at some point we'll have them reprinted, but right now, 15, 20 orders a day, we could do it. When we get to be West Tampa Tobacco and putting 100 orders out a day might be a little more difficult, and probably that's 6 months to a year away.
Oh,
but
you'll get there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like Big D said, when I past 6 months, I've managed to bring in most major brands that I have to stop thinking about what I like and remember what everybody else likes, because I'm not. I've got my favorites, and I have my ones that I don't like, but I have to, make sure that my customers are happy. So I pretty much have, I'd say, about 40,000 cigars with all major name brands, along with about 40 of my own custom blends. And he's got showing all the brands that we do stock here. That's and now we got to reprint that and put West Tampa on.
You got to put West Tampa on there, yeah.
You're going to be on the next edition for sure.
That's great.
Be featured on there. But we do that. We've got a deal set up for humidors as well. We have humidors on the website where customers go in and get a quote, and the manufacturer ships it directly to the house. And we never get to touch it. And that works out real well. And I'm able to get discounts from my customers because, again, we're a family-run business. We're not. We have big overhead. We've got to be able to keep the prices down, give good quality cigars, and always looking for a unique blend, something different, something that's stand out that they can't get anywhere else but at the TBC. So I started working on a lost art in the industry. It's called a Candela wrapper, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with.
Yes, sir.
So back in the day, Gus Big D's got the green iguana, and I'm smoking a green iguana, and that's the duetto, which is a barbershop bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one that kept me up all night and said I got to get this done. That's called the triple play, and the triple play is it starts out with a Maduro, then it goes into a Candela, and then it finishes with a Connecticut. So actually, when you're smoking it, you'll smoke the Connecticut first, then you'll work your way into Candela, and then you'll work your way into the finish with the last third would be the Maduro. And all three of these are Nicaraguan puros, which are made for me. So these are all brand new. They've been about the past 3 weeks, and they're really well made. I got to tell you, the duetto, you can see the construction of that duetto. It's real pretty looking cigar, and it's a good hour and a half cigar. This is both the duetto and triple play are 6x60 Gordos, and they're, like I said, about 90-minute cigar. And then the green iguana is a Toro, and
so
nice.
My question. So my question I have, not that I have a problem with Candelas. Okay, they can be very good if blended right. My biggest issue I have is that it relies heavily on how that filler is set in there, that it doesn't become a grass fire in your mouth. And that's the biggest issue I have with Candelas. I'd smoke more of them if more brands didn't taste like I was smoking a grass fire.
You're right. I mean, it's got to be blended correctly. I
want that sweetness. I want the pepper. I want to really get a good feel for what you get out, what a Candela should be. I want that wrapper to shine, but I also don't want a grass fire in my mouth. I want to.
Yeah, this one will give you some white pepper. The green iguana, it's going to give you some green tea, a little bit of baking spice. It's very unique blend, but you're going to get a little bit of that white pepper on the retrohale, which is very nice and very surprising for a Candela. And back in the day, everyone smoked this was the American cigar, was the Candela wrapper. Back, it started in Cuba with Fidel Castro, and obviously after the revolution and after it all, and the embargo, the Candela wrapper pretty much went away, and hasn't been around for a long time. You see it now and then, but you don't see it as popular as it used to be. But we'll see if we can make a comeback.
All right, so what do you want? So is that what you want me to try out? Is the green iguana? You want me to try one of these other ones?
Why don't you try out that triple play?
Okay.
That triple play will give you a little bit of all the. Gus, I got to get some of these out to you.
Yeah, that would be great.
I got you. I'll get it to your house.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I have your address. I'll get it to you.
So this is actually going to be my second tri wrap today that I've had. I had one this morning too. So now I got to compare. Let's see if you're better than the one I had this morning.
So you tried that this morning?
I did not try this one this morning. I tried a different brands that they sent out to me to test out. See what I thought about it. So I have that one to go with. It was very good. I gotta say it was very good. I was thoroughly impressed with the blending on it. I gave them my notes, let them know that I thought there was just a little tweak that needed to be made. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic. So you gotta get some competition here with my palate.
Well, I look forward to getting your feedback on that and anything we could do to make things better. Like I said, it starts out, very mild with the Connecticut Nicaraguan, and then you'll work your way in the second third with the Candela, and you'll finish with a kick butt finish with
Okay.
the Maduro, and it's a nice chocolatey dark Maduro from Nicaragua with lots of black pepper.
Very open draw, I'll say, off the
Nice
bat.
and easy.
Yeah, open draw. That's it. That's an aesthetics thing, I know, for a lot of people. I prefer to have a little bit more of a tighter draw than a looser draw. That's just aesthetics. It's just personal preference for people on what they like. I just, that's me. I want just a little bit tighter.
I do too, but you know what? I won't fight a cigar. If I pick a cigar, and I find a lot of that. Sometimes you buy a real expensive cigar, and I've spent $50 and I put it down. And I don't like spending a lot of money on a $50 cigar unless I know it's going to be something really special. But I've put them down because even a draw tool is not going to make it better.
I know. I don't have my special draw tool here to show off to the people there because I use a drill bit. I use a drill bit.
Yeah, you can use almost anything.
Because I'm not going to spend the money on a fancy draw tool. No, I'm going to get in there. It's got the nice spirals in it, so you can really get in there. If you got a knot in that tobacco.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something real funny, but I've got see this little. You know what this is? This is, put memos on, or in a restaurant, put it down, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's not only my draw tool, and it's also my nub holder. So when I get down to the end, I get to sit it down, and when I get everybody, it's funny. People laugh at me. They go, "You really do that?" I said, "Yeah." When I get down to the bottom, I could just sit here and.
I got my nubber tool, which is a roofing nail.
Yeah. There you go. That'll work.
Mm-hmm. Out there, Gus. Yeah, one of my biggest prized possessions I have came from Rick. He gifted me an OG original run Amazon basin from 2014.
Oh yeah.
I have it sit. It's still sitting in the humidor. It's one of those once in a lifetime smokes because if I smoke, I'm never gonna be able to smoke that again. So I'm really kind of waiting for a special occasion to light that up so that I know that it was worth smoking. But that cellophane is so brown. You can't even see the cigar. It's so brown.
It's funny that I remember the first time he brought that concept and the tobacco to us. We were here in Richmond, Virginia, where General's based, and he had these videos showing that how they were harvesting this tobacco, so on and so forth. And he was talking about his concept for the box. And we were like, Rick, what the hell are you talking about? And, because at first we couldn't visualize it. And then when it all came together, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, people, they'd give up their firstborn to get a hold of a box of that stuff. And they still do.
It's still a massive seller, but, that original run, and I remember that when those dropped back then, like people looked at it as like a niche cigar. It's like, well, why but there was just something special about that cigar. It was heavy. It was delicious. It was creamy, nutty, chocolatey. It had just all of that just kind of packed into one cigar, and it was so good. And when Rick gifted me it, because I didn't know what it was because I couldn't see it through the cellophane when he handed it to me. And he goes, that's original run 2014. I was like, no, wow. You can't give me this. He goes, no, I want to give it to you. Thank you for. I'm like, no, I can't take this. I can't. Oh, all right, if you insist. I mean.
Well, if you still have it, you might be able to sell it and buy a car. I mean, some guys.
So I actually found, if you folks want to see a real draw tool, this thing is pretty cool. So on one end, you got the draw tool over here, and this works real well because it's got the ridges on it, so you can slowly screw it into the cigar. And on the other side of this is actually a nub holder.
Did you say this first? This first third on this was Connecticut or a Habano?
No, Connecticut.
Connecticut. All right. Boy, I was expecting kind of a light start to this, kind of going on the Connecticut route. Start light and just kind of work your way forward. But this
got a little kick to it.
It hits pretty hard. Up that in that first third, it hits pretty hard. Like I wasn't expecting it. Very bready, very bready, very creamy. And there's a lot of pepper. I was honestly shocked by the amount of pepper on the palate.
Yeah, that's a typical Nicaraguan flavor to it. Nicaraguan tends to have a little more pepper than a Dominican. I find that a lot, especially with AJ Fernandez. A lot of his blends, he'll start out. It hits as soon as you light it up. It's like whoa, and then it calms down, and then it reminds you at the last third, who his name is. Oh, this is AJ Fernandez. Boom, and he gets you again at the end.
He has one smoke that I knew right off the bat because of how spicy and peppery it was on the palate that the retro was going to be a sinus melter.
Yeah.
Oh, I had tears coming out of my eyes. My nose was leaking. It was so. I'm like there's no need for a cigar to be that so much pepper. Like the retro was like doing lines of cinnamon. Is exactly what somebody just went up there. He just started cutting lines of cinnamon, and I just went up.
Oh. I've never experienced that.
Oh my goodness! It was just it's like the cinnamon challenge, but through the nostril.
Hey, you ever see that guy on YouTube snorting scorpion pepper and then rubbing it into his eyes?
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It's just
why would you do that?
I'll tell you what really impresses me when you get into the barber poles and what you guys are smoking right now is the difficulty in blending a cigar to be able to not overpower the flavor that you get from the various wrappers, because you can get that. Like if Rick will tell you if he were here on between our black and white blend, the wrapper on both of those blends is essentially the same, Ecuadorian Habano. Now, we fermented the tobacco longer on the black to get that darker, richer color, although it's not a true Maduro. But what Rick will tell you is when you smoke the white, you'll get more of the wrapper because the filler is downplayed a bit. So you get more appreciation from it. Whereas on the black, when you're smoking that, you're getting less of the wrapper, more of the filler. And I think in this particular case, the challenge is that you have to have a filler in a blend that is going to allow you to be able to appreciate the different, as you smoke through this cigar, to be able to get the notes from the wrapper without just smoking the same. You just say you smoke the thing and it tastes the same. I didn't get that complexity as I transitioned from one wrapper into the other.
Yes,
that's what makes that triple place so unique. I've never seen one like this, and I said, you know what? I wonder if we can get all three in one stick, and that's how I came up with this triple play.
I have found that with the tri wraps, it's getting different, unique flavors through each of these thirds. So you're not continuing where it's where it's really the fillers, the shining star, and the wrappers aren't. I want to get some of those essences of the wrapper. I want that mix. I want that filler mix. Like on this is hitting fairly strong for a Connecticut. It's a bit more peppery than what you would expect out of a Connecticut. A bit more on the bready side. nuttiness is nice. It's very creamy. But as I start to transition into this Candela, I'm in my mind, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for that transition to also hit with that Candela. So I want that sweetness to really pick up. I want this black pepper that's coating my palate to move off, and I want that white pepper to start coming in, those traditional flavors off of the Candela.
Yeah, the green tea.
Yes, I really, that's what I want to get for. Oh, we got some questions going on here. I've been ignoring the questions.
What I found with the green iguana, it pairs so well with coffee. I smoke this in the morning. It's like fantastic.
So Sam, to answer your question on this for a beginning cigar smoker, that's a hard question to answer because it all depends on what really fits your palate and what you like. Because there are cigars you can go buy a $3 cigar for a beginner or a $20 cigar for a beginner. It all varies. You got to kind of find as a beginner where your palate's sitting, and then kind of build up from that. Really the sweet point on price points is usually between $9 and $12. That's kind of the sweet point. That's where 90% of the cigar smokers kind of live in day after day. That's my sweet spot. $9 to $12, my sweet spot. I'll go up a little bit if it's something that I'm really interested in, but for a beginner, when I started back in 2000, my first cigar that I got cost $4. But you couldn't.
Was it a white owl? Was it a white owl?
You couldn't buy that cigar now for $4.
Was it a white owl?
No, it was a Padron.
Was it a Padron?
Padron natural. Padron 2000 natural.
So I get that question all the time. I'm a beginner. I don't know what to smoke. I always suggest samplers. Go and get yourself a sampler. Try out. Try to remember. Write down what you smoked, and you'll get your palate. Everybody's palate's different, and eventually you'll find what you like. And a lot of times I'll get a blend that I like, but I get tired of smoking it. I remember I smoked Rocky Patel Edge. I'm sorry to even admit it, but I smoked Rocky Patel Edge like the longest time. And then I branched out. You get tired of it. You go into I smoked CLEs for the longest time, and when I was in the beginning. But your palate changes. I never smoked a Maduro, in the beginning. I was afraid. But then it's like, let me give it a try. And people are afraid. So, it's so dark. It's gonna kick my butt. I'm gonna stay away from it.
That's one of those big misconceptions out there that people that if the cigar's dark, it's going to be too strong and too heavy, and that has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Has nothing to do with it. That doesn't matter. That's one of those wives of. We got a question here, Ira, from Tony. What drink would you pair with this triple play?
That triple play for me is absolutely an old fashioned.
Old fashioned. I was going to say that as well. On it, I think especially in this first part with this, as peppery as this first part of the cigar is, I think the bitters from an old fashioned would really kind of help lessen that pepper down just a smidge.
I think I've tried it a few times and it works. The old fashioned definitely pairs well with that cigar.
There you go. No, don't dog on white owls. The white owls used to be back in the day. They were they were really kind of the brand out there. My grandpa smoked white owls, my mom told me in the mid 70s he complained because white owls used to use Cuban filler in it, and then after the embargo they couldn't use Cuban filler anymore, and they tasted different, and he hated the fact they tasted different. And that he complained about that.
My first cigar out of high school was a white owl.
White owl is there. I was kind my first cigar was a Padron Natural 2000, an Oliva Series G Cameroon, and a Camacho Connecticut. And that was back when Camacho was owned by Christian before he sold to Davidoff. So, those were my first three, and that kind of set me down this road almost 25 years later.
We're really blessed this time, in our lives, to have so many great cigars out there, so many options, like West Tampa Tobacco, and the TBC, and so many other blends that are out there, and great blenders that, we didn't have years ago. It was very limited. So this is a great time for aficionados to branch out and try different. You never have to smoke the same one twice. You can pretty much,
Well, Sam, I'm assuming the White Owls treat you good because you use them for blunts.
Absolutely.
But Ira, you're absolutely right. It's interesting when Rick and I, we're putting West Tampa together. We, obviously Rick had and I had connections across the, the industry. A lot of folks, now that we've come out, are very interested in working with us. We're working with the Olivas. We're working with Ernesto Perez Carrillo. We're in conversations with a few other folks. But when we first launched, we were trying to stay under the radar. And we came across a very, very small factory in Esteli called Garmendia. And, here was a young guy and his wife, a small factory, 20 rollers, you wouldn't notice they got a sign out front of the place, but you just drive by a dirt road. You wouldn't think twice about it. And it is amazing to see how many, there's the AJs, the Olivas, the big guys are doing phenomenal things, but it's great to see kind of the next generation and some of these smaller factories that are, again, I'm a little bit biased, but, pumping out great quality cigars for folks. And so it's really exciting to see that because, like I said, the big guys are always going to be the big guys, but it's great to see some of these smaller factories that are out there doing some great work for folks.
Your motto, and you and Rick and me, we believe the same way. I'm not looking to. I don't want to be a big guy. I want to look for that small batch. I want to find that special batch of tobacco that can make a blend that's very limited. And when it's gone, it's gone. I'm not looking to mass produce cigars. Millions of cigars a year that or make so many cigars and just put a new band on it, call it something different. I want to keep blending. I want to expand my my horizon and give my customers something different to try. And then again, I keep going back to why you and I teamed up was because we have a lot in common, being that boutique cigar blend. Giving something that the big boys can't offer.
Gus, I'll tell you this. My favorite cigar I got at PCA was the Devil Crab.
Yeah.
That was my favorite cigar I picked up at PCA. When I finally smoked that stick, I was like, where has this been all my life? Where has this been? Oh my, it's so good. I think it was so smart to one, drop that down into that almost nub size, but then to take it with that rounded, almost perfecto shape.
Yeah.
It just, that cigar smacks. I'm like, man, I'm sad I only got one. Now I got to wait for them to hit the retail store.
Well, it's funny when you guys were talking about the tools. I don't know if you follow us on social media, but you will, if you check us out, you will see literally guys are posting stuff. You can smoke, literally down to nothing without that ash. The construction on that cigar is out of this world. And what's crazy about it is literally the factory is very small. We have 3 rollers that have the skill, because that's a very difficult cigar. That figurado shape with a pigtail is very difficult to roll. And only 3 of their senior rollers are making them. But the construction, like I said, it's just out of this world.
Flawless. Yeah, that was one of the big questions I got a couple weeks after PCA, which was what was my favorite cigar from PCA, and that was a Devil Crab. was by far my favorite cigar that I smoked, that I picked up there, that I was able to smoke. It was phenomenal. And I had no doubts just because it's Rick, and Rick, Rick's going to do something different and unique. I've always loved his blending style. You know, even the core line black is one of my just everyday favorite smokes.
Yeah,
got a nice ash, got a nice ash going on there.
I am. So I will tell you that I have started to get into the Candela. I have gotten a flavor change up on it. So, yes. So that black pepper that was hitting up in the front with the Connecticut has moved to that white pepper. The breadiness has gone away on it. It has gotten a bit more leathery going to it. There's a faint sweetness, but not a lot. So I'm hoping that sweetness starts drawing out as I dig into the stick. And the retro's really nice. It's just beautiful. I'm gonna call it it's like a cinnamon sugar cookie in the retro is what I'm gonna go with. It's got there's a nice buttery creaminess, cinnamon.
Yeah.
And a bready cookiness to it. So it's very nice. So
good.
So right now we're starting off good, but I've just kind of worked my way into it. So
good deal. Yeah, I haven't tried your white yet, Gus. I've got them in stock. I've got the white, the black, and the red. Red seems to be very popular with my customers. They love the red. They love the Circle of Life. But I've got to try the white.
Well, it's interesting. So, when we first launched, we launched the white and black. And to be honest with you, then we launched red about 9 months later. Red, of course, top 25 in Cigar Aficionado in 2023. The red top 25 in Cigar Snob in 24. So that's been our highest rated cigar. But I will tell you, I still think that the white is probably the better of the three in the core. And in particular, I like the white in the Lancero. And I don't know if you guys know as well as I do. It's interesting. Lanceros it's a love-hate type thing. You got some guys that love them, some guys they hate them. But what I really appreciate about a Lancero is that you really get an appreciation for the wrapper when you smoke a Lancero, because it is, back to my earlier point around, the filler not overpowering it. And that's why I really love the white in the Lancero. I don't dislike the others in that size. But that was interesting because, with the, Big D, to your point around the Devil Crab, we're utilizing a Mexican San Andreas wrapper on that, just like in the red. And it's interesting. We actually sourced that tobacco from a very small farm in the San Andreas Valley. And in fact, rather than in the valley, they actually grow this particular tobacco further up on the mountain, and it changes. The climate is actually vastly different than it is further down in the valley. Mm-hmm. And you'll actually see it's very, very different than something, say a San Andreas, wrapper that we source from Oliva. Our Attic series was another one where we used, a very unique, very selective on the wrapper for that. But, Big D, you'll be happy to hear, when we introduced Devil Crab at PCA, that was intended to be a limited edition 50 count box. We sold all of it day one at the show. And we kept selling, we kept saying, make more. And Rick and I made the decision just a couple of weeks ago that we're going to take that line full time. And we may actually introduce a smaller box size, even though the 50 counts have been going great. But it quickly became our number one selling cigar, and said, hey, we're going to give our fans what they want. And so I think we're going to have Devil Crab full time.
I think that's a great idea. It's so good. If you haven't smoked it, if you can find one out at your local shop, you definitely got to pick them up, because, I was a little wary when they had it at my local shop, especially at the price point. But, I had smoked it, and I like that. But the second and third time I smoked it, I realized that the price point on that cigar shouldn't matter. It's just a damn good cigar. It just top to bottom, it's so good. And so I think
you're
I
right.
just think I think that's a smart choice, because when Rick said that when I interviewed him at PCA, I was like, okay. So I just figured, all right, this is a one and done. You do a few thousand boxes and then call it quits on it, and he'll move on to something else. But I think it's just too good of a cigar to just go, well, it's a one and done. I mean, if you did, I mean, that meant legendary status on a cigar, on a one and done limited run batch. You know, that automatically for me puts it in that legendary status. It's that good.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Gus. Lancero is a misunderstood. A lot of people, a lot of cigar smokers stay away from it. But I believe that's, you get one of the best smokes and you get the most flavor out of a Lancero than any other size cigar. And I do enjoy a good Lancero at times.
I'm going to answer Tony's question. Yes, I would not go with an old fashioned as I'm working into this Candela. Would not. I need something peaty. A Scotch.
One thing I want to go back to, I think it was Sam who asked the question about how much should you spend, I think, on your first cigar. I think it's a great question, because it was something that came up when Rick and I started West Tampa, when we were launching our cigar, what I'll call our core line, our white, black, and red. Obviously, as you might expect, the cost of those tobaccos are vastly different. Some are lower, some are much higher. And what we decided to do was line price each one of them. We priced, the Robusto in black is the same as red, same as in white for Toro, Gigante, and Lancero, because what we didn't want to do, kind of to Sam's point, is we didn't want to penalize somebody for or discourage someone from picking up one blend versus the other, because we wanted them to be able to try. And to your point, Big D, in terms of the pricing, when we launched 9, 10, and 11 for Robusto, Toro, that sweet spot, because exactly, we wanted to line price it, put it in that sweet spot, because we wanted to give everybody an opportunity. Because a lot of times with boutique brands, as you guys know, they tend to be a lot more expensive, obviously, because your costs are higher, because you're, sourcing, less tobacco, labor costs, you're, working with third-party folks. But we felt it was really important. And if I were to give advice to others who were interested in, wanting to get into the industry and launch their own brands, to really start there. Again, think, Rick will tell you, and I'll tell you, every decision that we make, everything that we do starts with Rick and I call his fans. We start with the folks that, basically are putting food on our table. Rick will also tell you that he'll smoke cigars that he may not, and we haven't done it yet, but he was like, he may not like. And the reason being is that, his palate versus others could be very different. So our goal is to give folks what they want. And if it's what Rick and I'll go back and forth. He'll smoke something, Gus, I love this. I'll go, it doesn't suck, but it's not my favorite. And vice versa. And I think that's really important. I always tell we work with a lot of retailers, and they'll say, I don't sell anything that I don't like. And I respect that. I get, you would always say, I got to believe in my product to do it. But when it comes to, to cigars and spirits, anything, our palates are all so different. Some are more developed than others. Some are, less. And I think it's really important that, as a manufacturer, as a retailer, and even as a consumer, that you try a lot of different things. I mean, hey, I would love everybody only to smoke West Tampa, but guess what? You'd be missing out on so many phenomenal cigars. I want people to smoke.
So basically what I do, I've got 12 brand ambassadors around the country, and they all have different palates, and like I said in the beginning, I can't only offer what I like, because then I'd be offering only Maduros, and I would never have a Connecticut, because I very rarely smoke a Connecticut cigar. Although there are some that I really enjoy, like an H. Upman, Connecticut, a reserve. I enjoy it a lot. So I have to rely on, what they tell me and how as they try it, they say, this is good. That's not going to maybe make a change to this or change to that. So we can pretty much, our fans, our customers, our family out there can tell us they can all get something that they like. And our flagship line is called the TBC signature line. And we did the same thing. Price point was, the Robusto, the Toro, the Churchill, the Torpedo, all basically $1 apart, all affordable. And we started doing bundles. So we bundle them up in 20, wrap them up in a nice ribbon. My wife puts it to for 4th of July. She did this Star Spangled Banner, red, white, and blue ribbon, had this thing all pumped up. And it was beautiful, customers love it. But, so you pay for 18, you get 2 free, and you get a bundle of 20. And we just started getting into boxes now. Just the whole idea is to keep the cost down because, like you said, it is expensive to make these boutique cigars because we're not mass producing millions of cigars like these big boys do. You and I are, we want to keep the quality there. We want to source out the best tobacco and make it affordable for everyone to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
When I talked to George Padron a couple of years ago, and I asked him what was one of the biggest secrets out there that people may not understand, and he said his grandfather always said that I blend cigars for me, and if other people like them, that's just a bonus. And so all the blends, those early Padron blends, were all just basically blended off of Jose Senior's palate, what he liked and how he liked the cigars to be, and other people did too. And for me, that's one of the important part when I talk with a lot of small and boutique brands is they're always trying to go, well, I think I need to have them. You shouldn't have to think about it. You know what people like out there. Blend something that you like. You're saying you need to add a Connecticut to your line. Well, blend a Connecticut to your palate. If you like it, other people will, and if other people like what your other stuff you have out in your portfolio is, they'll like it. Because if you start trying to make something special out there, you're going to alienate people who all enjoy your brand because it's not authentic to what you've been doing. You have a certain style that you like, and you really got to keep with it. So make a Connecticut, but make a Connecticut you like. If you like, make it a bolder, pepperier, spicier Connecticut. If that's what you like in a cigar, people will come to it. You don't need to tone something down to try to appease everybody because you're trying to appease a small group of people when you have a large group that already like what you do.
Yeah.
When you talk about Padron, one of the things that always impressed me about Padron is the consistency. You can smoke a Padron, you're going to get the same blend, you're going to get the same flavor profile, the same burn. I've never had a bad Padron. I personally, I'm not one to go out and spend $25 on a cigar like a Padron. I'll go for the 3,000, 4,000, 7,000 series, and I'll age them. I'll put them in the humidor for a year, and you know what? It's a Padron, and it's going to smoke like a $25 cigar. And I'm buying a $12 cigar, and I'm just aging it myself because really, it's all about the aging process. A good humidified cigar, a good aged cigar, will go from an average cigar to a great cigar over time. And it's all about getting that proper humidity and the proper aging process.
The core Padron's core line is fantastic. Like the 1,000 series, I mean, they're like you said, they're reasonably priced. They're very good. It is plain and simple. We have the natural Connecticut wrapper, Maduro wrapper. Boom, that's it. Nothing big, nothing fancy, nothing special about it. Yep. Same blend, same binder, same filler. We just changed out the wrapper. That's all we've done.
That's right. The difference between 1826 and 1964 and 4,000. It's the aging process. It's just more. It's just it's tobacco. But I enjoy it. I keep them in stock because customers love them and they buy them by the each or by the box. So I keep them on hand. I've got every Oliva under the sun in my inventory because, like you said, the Oliva G Cameroon is a fantastic cigar. I still smoke them. I love them. You know, I got customers buying by the box. Oh, there you go. Working your way into the to the
I'm
end of the
halfway into
Candela.
the Candela. It's good. I'm not getting the sweetness I was expecting from it, but I'm getting the pepper and spice, the leather. It's very nice. It is a completely different cigar in the Candela section than it was from the Connecticut section up front. So, so right now, essentially, this is 3 cigars in one. Is what you're
Exactly.
getting, and you're basically getting the sweet spot, the nub section of pretty much all 3 on
Well,
it.
wait till you hit that Nicaraguan Maduro. You had that.
I'm looking forward to it. It
You
smells
did have
great.
you did have dinner, right?
I did. I had a sandwich.
You're gonna need it in a minute.
Right. So it's pretty heavy on the vitamin N. Then I'm taking it. All right. All right. Well, yeah, I'm excited. Is Rick gonna work with Cameroon anytime soon?
You know, it's that has come up multiple times. You know, it goes back to my earlier point. Rick's not a huge fan of Cameroon wrapper. He's not a huge fan. But that's not the reason why he hasn't done it yet. I think that at some point we will. Because Rick, as you guys know, he was trained by 3, Daniel Nunez, Ernesto Perez Carrillo, and Benji Menendez, and Benji is actively involved in our blending panel. Rick takes several trips from Tampa down to Miami to sit down and smoke all of our blends before we introduce anything. And I know Benji, he enjoys Cameroon, but never say never. But as you guys know, it's tough to get a hold of. It's very expensive, but for a lot of people, it's definitely worth it.
Well, so the hot tobacco right now out has been Panamanian.
I was
So
just I can't believe you said that. I was just going there because I'm
that's
working with
the
this
hot
little.
new tobacco out there on
Yeah,
it, and
I've got one out there. It's called a Cameo, and it's funny. I went out. I had 40 people on a sales trip out in. We went out to Northern California in July, and I brought 150 of the Cameos with me. So I knew all these guys smoke cigars, and from the whether you were a Connecticut smoker, whether you are a Maduro smoker, Habano smoker, you love a Cameo. It's a Panamanian Puro. It's got a little touch of spice in it, but it smokes beautifully. It's a Toro size, and it's $9.95. You can smoke them all day long. But I am working with a small Panamanian farm right now, and I got a whole bunch of blends in there I'm working on that are all Panamanian Puros from whether it's Connecticut that he's got in there to Maduro. He's got one that's called the Private Reserve, and it's going to be probably my next TBC blend. And it's a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse. It's a 6x60. He also makes it into Churchill, but I really like the Gordo, and I think I'm going to bring that one in next. But it is a Panamanian Puro.
And Rick has, he's got connections with a lot of people out there, and and I know Rick is more of a traditionalist in how with the tobaccos he likes to use out there, but with his skill set that he has with some of the exotic tobaccos, they're exotic now just because they're not readily in a lot of brands out there. I think he could do so much, especially with, again, Cameroon. It's tough to get your hands on a lot on a lot of it, especially with the Marifelds having kind of the monopoly on that.
Yep.
But with the farms that have been coming up in Angola and Mozambique, that tobacco is fantastic.
It really is. No, I don't
good.
disagree. And the other thing too that we've talked about, as you guys know, kind of with the success Rick had working with all Brazilian tobacco, and especially with Flathead, we've talked a lot about Brazilian tobaccos, and again, it's about getting good tobacco out of Brazil now. It's not even so much quantity, but also the quality of the tobacco coming out of Brazil, making sure you get the stuff. But I'm definitely gonna, we haven't talked about Panama, but I'll definitely bring it up to Rick and get his thoughts, and maybe we get our hands on some, and he maybe plays around with it a little bit and see if there's something he can come up with that. But it's interesting.
There you go, Jeremy. He's smoking a TBC African Cameroon. It's his favorite from Myra. He's in the last third, and he's glad he ate a steak tonight.
Yeah, that African Cameroon's real popular.
I haven't smoked it yet. I haven't sitting. I have it sitting. I'm waiting for the right opportunity to light it up, Myra.
Did you get one?
That's it. Yeah, I do have one.
Yeah,
your wife did send me one, and
good.
I'm just waiting on the right opportunity for it to come in.
It's Gus. You haven't seen it, but the actual band is the African flag.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, the two countries that really impress me right now, Costa Rica is putting out some really good tobacco, and I'm getting a lot from Costa Rica, along with Panama, and I think that's the up and coming spot right now. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get you out, Gus. We gotta get you to look.
I need a care package with the note.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been a fan of Costa Rican tobacco. It just, the problem is with the few brands out there that utilize a lot of it. I don't think that they do a good job with the blending with it. I think they do a disservice to be. It's one of those tobaccos, especially since most of those farms out there do that open air sea air cure, so tends to be a bit on the saltier side of it, and the blending just, to me, it isn't right. Maybe for other people it is, but for me it's like that saltiness seems to overrun my palate on a lot of brands out there.
I've got one, and it's called Campfire Surprise, and it has that saltiness about it from Costa Rica. That I keep in stock. Customers love it. They just love that saltiness. My wife loves it.
Same thing like Peruvian tobacco. It's just it's so good, but too many people don't know how to blend properly with it, and it's a shame. I wish they did, because you can really see you knew what they're going for smoking it, but they just wasn't quite there when it came down.
Big D, you're so right. I mean, you can take great raw tobacco, and especially when you're talking about some of these newer tobaccos where people don't have the experience working with it, you can take great tobacco, and if you don't process it properly, if you don't age it properly, you're 100% right. You're just not going to get the performance that you could expect. And I mean, even having different factories, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Take the same tobacco and give it to 3 different factories, you're going to get 3 different results.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
That's why this gentleman I'm dealing with right now is little farm in Panama. I mean, he doesn't even speak English, so and I don't speak Spanish much. My wife does, but it's all WhatsApp back and forth with him. But it's hard to communicate with, but he does such a fantastic job that I'm going to be doing more and more with him. Because the quality is really fantastic. And the way I found him, a friend of mine who is from Panama, he went home to visit. He brought me back these Panamanian cigars, and I said, "Where did you get these?" And he hooked me up with this guy in Panama, and we've been back and forth with blends until I find the right one. And I think I've got a couple that I'm ready to bring on.
I had when Baby Mama was back to Tanzania for a few months, and she brought me back fumos from local rollers out there. She didn't know anything about them. She knows I smoke, and so she brought them back. It's fantastic. I was just like, man, this is just raw. This is just a raw tobacco rolled in a fumo, and it's fantastic. I'm just like, it's one of these big brands is gonna find this guy and his farm and what he's rolling out there, and just with just these fumos, and it's gonna turn that into something amazing out there. It's fantastic what they're doing around the world, and it's just so underutilized with a lot of tobacco, which makes me happy when I see a lot of blenders out there who do take the risk on going out there and finding rare tobaccos from around the world, and are able to do something amazing with it.
Right.
Taking tobacco from Romania or traditional Irish pipe tobacco and making a fantastic cigar. That type of stuff, I have a lot of respect for those blenders and manufacturers, because if there's a will, there's a way, but it takes a real professional who knows tobacco and how to work that tobacco to make it work in a blend. Like Rick has that skill. Like, I have no doubt that if you gave Rick, Panamanian tobacco or Irish tobacco, he'd find a way to make it work in a blend. No doubt about it. He's one of those guys that just has that master skill.
I was able to hook up with a small Kentucky farm, and I was able to get a small batch. I was able to get 1,400 cigars made with this Kentucky tobacco mixed with Nicaraguan filler, and it's called the Corojo, and it's just about done. I've got like 40 left, and it is just unbelievable. But I can't get any more. It was just a one-shot deal, and that was the end of it.
I've been talking so much, my cigar keeps going out.
I'm getting to the end of the second third of this.
I'm about ready to go into the Maduro here.
So this green iguana, all the pepper's gone. I got a lot of that sweetness now coming on. It's tasting that green tea and the sweetness. I think when you try the green iguana, you're going to really get a good good flavor that comes out of a Candela blend. I'm really getting it now going into the end of the second third.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
We lost you there, Gus.
Yeah, we lost your sound. You got no audio there, Gus.
Check, see if you're on mute.
Nope. No audio. We lost Gus here.
Click out and go back in. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
I like those daggers, by the way. That CAO Basin, Amazon Basin dagger. It's an awesome cigar. It's the same blend in the small dagger, the 5-pack. They're incredible.
Oh.
Yeah. You're going to love this green iguana. Coming back in.
Right. So let's see him. Yeah, there he is. All right, Gus.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
All right. Sorry. See all that excitement over the Amazon Basin box. It blew up my speaker.
I was just talking about the daggers. I love the daggers.
Oh yeah.
They're excellent. Same blend.
Yeah.
Same
I don't have
tobacco.
a box of those.
They're really good.
Wow, that retro. Whoa.
Okay. Tony
Whoa.
Taylor wants to know, are you getting into the final third, going back to the old fashioned now?
We'll see. We'll see if I'm going back to the old fashioned. But that retro, whoa. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Yeah.
That's good. That was a surprise. Wow. That was good. Okay. So and the smell coming off the foot just hitting that Maduro on it. It's just like pure caramel coming off this foot. Oh, the smell fantastic on it.
Are you ready for your old fashioned?
I don't know. They gotta let me get into it just a little bit more. We'll see.
Tony's ready for an old fashioned. Face purple crying. Jerem.
Oh, the emoji doesn't show up. So it's a purple laughing crying emoji. Wow, that retro, that is so smooth, so creamy. Wow. There's just little hint, little bit of cinnamon, but it is just smooth and creamy in that retro is fantastic.
So you've pretty much experienced 3 cigars in one.
I have. This blows what I had this morning out of the water. And I'm going to tell them that when I send them an email on what I thought of it. I'm going to tell them straightforward. I had another one. Go watch the video. You'll see. Yeah, this is way better than the one I had this morning.
Good to hear.
Yeah, fantastic. My only knock is on the Candela. There's just the sweetness just not there. And that's the one thing. That's kind of the one thing I want. But I didn't get the grass fire, so that made to me that's a bit of a win. That I wasn't smoking. I wasn't out there smoking smoking grass, and not the good kind of grass.
When you get into that green iguana, you'll get a real Candela experience, which I really enjoyed.
I feel like there's almost like a fire cured in this because there's a real smoky component that I picked up towards the back end of that Candela and is really picking up into this Maduro side. There's this sweet smokiness that's coming through, almost fire cured. I don't know if there is, but it's nice.
I think it's just a matter of the blend of 3 cigars together.
It's possible. It's possible. Everything's just kind of coming to the back end on this, but yeah, it's very nice. So far I've thoroughly enjoyed this cigar.
Good to hear. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out that your white, Gus. It's the one I haven't tried yet. The red I love. I love the red. I love that Circle of Life a lot. I've got the Dark Time sitting by my side right over here. If you haven't seen this is a very cool box by West Tampa Tobacco. And that's one heck of a cutter. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it comes with the this is a beautiful presentation, Gus. Well done.
Thank you. Well, there's an interesting story behind that. So when Rick and I first were, starting West Tampa, this was probably, I guess it was in 2021. We were in talks with the Oliva Tobacco Company, not the cigar guys, but the tobacco family, also based out of Tampa. And we had asked them, they were going to roll our first cigars for us. And so we were talking to them. Rick loved that blend that we landed on. And we said, great, let's go ahead and get started. Roll us 25,000 of those cigars. And they went ahead. They started rolling the cigars, and we got maybe 2 months into it. And I said, hey, Rick, I'm just wondering, did we ask him how much that cigar cost? He's like, I didn't ask him. Did you? I'm like, no. So I call him up and I said, hey, guys, how are things going on the cigars? Oh, it's great. We're almost done. It's like, okay, great. And I go, hey, by the way, how much was, is that per stick? And they told me, and I about shit, because there was no way. Back to my point around, hey, if we want to introduce a cigar and our brand at a reasonable price, this wasn't going to happen. And it actually worked out great for us because, to your point, Ira, we took a great cigar to a super cigar because it aged for over 3 years.
There you go.
We did, obviously it's our most premium in the line, and we wanted to do something really special with it, and that was, Rick, again, loves watches, and that's why we kind of came up with that, Rolex inspired cutter.
Yeah.
And the cigar is just absolutely phenomenal because right now, probably when you smoke it, it's got 4.5 years of age on it. So
well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to thank my customers for buying a bunch of sticks because now I got a free cutter.
Yeah.
The other boxes sold like in one day.
Yeah.
So you could ship me out a few more tomorrow. We'll talk in the morning.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good.
But Jeremy just said he's only smoked the Circle of Life and the Attic from West Tampa. Now the Attic was the one that turned me on to West Tampa, and I know you're going to bring it back. You told me in about a year from now.
Different blend. We're doing
blend.
A whole. So obviously it's a series. So we we introduced Attic, and then we sold out, and then we had popular demand. People wanted us to re-release it, so we re-released a small amount, and we're done with that one. That one is in the rearview mirror, and we've already got in development next year, probably in the back half of next year, we'll be releasing another Attic series, completely different blend, completely different concept and story. But yeah, Attic is an amazing, again, San Andreas wrapper, and yeah, that was a special.
I've got 2 left, and nobody can have them.
Yeah,
they're in my private drawer.
The fact that you have that partnership with Oliva on the tobacco side to be able to procure like San Andreas, which you get like Cameroon, hard to get, out there. I think that adds to the cigar because too many guys, and this was one thing that I learned when people really started to hammer in on San Andreas, which was on there, was you got to pay attention when you read the blend, because if it doesn't say Mexican San Andreas, it's Ecuadorian, because that's how they're meeting that demand. Same thing with the Connecticut broadleaf. It's coming out of Ecuador. You really got to pay attention. Just because it says San Andreas doesn't mean that that's Mexican on it.
Exactly.
Because that is.
And it's a big difference.
It's a big difference. And if it's not Mexican San Andreas, they can't say Mexican. That's why it just says San Andreas when you read some of on the websites. And same thing with Connecticut broadleaf. If it says broadleaf on it, doesn't say Connecticut, it's more than likely it's from Ecuador.
Big D, a funny story is one time I was having a conversation with someone, and I was saying, our Mexican San Andreas and this Mexican San Andreas, and the guy's like, what are you talking about? You keep saying Mexican San Andreas. I get it. And I'm like, and he was kind of like saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, there's a distinction. I say it for a reason, because you have to understand. And like you said, broadleaf is another great example. There's U.S., there's Nicaragua's growing some broadleaf. You got some from Ecuador. It's all over. So it is important. And it's a big deal. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but it's very different.
It tastes different, It does. The growing conditions, the climate, the stuff that the Mexican San Andreas is from a drier climate. Especially the way the Turret family ages and cures that tobacco out is completely different than nobody else does in the industry out there. So you really got to pay attention to when you're reading, the blend notes on that, when it says, because, I found that out the hard way, because I'm like, man, this just doesn't taste right. And then when I started asking people, and they're like, oh yeah, if it doesn't say that, it's It's probably
Yep.
from Ecuador. And I was like, oh, you know, it makes sense. And so I always pay attention, especially when I talk to people and they go, oh, I got it. This is Canada. Is it from Mexico?
Mhm.
And they're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I go? Did he tell you it's from Mexico? Because there's a big difference between, you know, the big difference if you're not paying attention out there on it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to PCA again, Gus, and seeing what Rick has coming down the pipe because, you know, this drop that he had this year blew me away. Like I said, the Devil Crab, by far my favorite smoke out of everything that I smoked from PCA. I can't wait, and I know he's got something up his magical sleeve there that he's gonna look at dropping.
We got it. We're working on it. Yep. I think you're gonna like what we've got next year. A lot.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Did you like New Orleans this year?
You know, it was a great show for us. I was a little nervous, you know, because Vegas is Vegas, and there was I would say there were buyers. No.
Oh, we lost Gus again. He lost Gus again.
How you making out with that Maduro?
Yeah, it's good. So the retro did change as I moved in to it. So now that where it was creamy and smooth with a little bit of cinnamon, that cinnamon is really driving home on that retro. Fantastic on that. All right, Gus, let's try this again.
Can you hear me now?
All right, there we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry, I don't want to go back, but yeah, the show is great, and like I said, I'm looking forward to New Orleans again next year.
I had a blast. I was actually glad to get out of Vegas. You know, Vegas is so expensive, and you know, New Orleans, it's not cheap by any means, but it's definitely way cheaper than Vegas is, and the food,
sure.
The food was fantastic.
Yeah.
I had a blast, and the hotel was great. Perfect walking distance to that 9 football size field, the convention center.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, I must have put 3 or 4 miles a day in on the sales floor.
Yeah, it's long. Yeah, the way it is, it's narrow but long. But I will tell you, if speaking of food, if you ever want to find the West Tampa gang, we're at Gus's Fried Chicken. I don't know if you've been there, but you may know Rick is he loves fried chicken, and that's his favorite fried chicken spot. No,
where is this?
It's in New Orleans. It's like kind of right behind, like maybe a couple blocks from the convention hall, but good fried chicken.
I love fried chicken, but my waist doesn't.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, I'm looking forward to going back to New Orleans and then back to Vegas, which, all right, I guess we do Vegas, but I just, you know, I like the I like something different, you know, going to tons of these trade shows and, you know, and going to the trade shows, you know, back when they used to kind of be everywhere, not just Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun and to go to, but being stuck in Vegas, you know, it's like, and you're out so late. Like, I was back at the hotel by midnight every night. Like, I wasn't even staying out till 3 or 4 in the morning, like in Vegas. It was like, all right, but you know, I think I'm just gonna head back to the hotel, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Troy, is he Tony? Yeah, Tony's son. He lives out there in the New Orleans area. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I am looking forward to what West Tampa is going to be bringing. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with Rick at Rocky Mountain this year. He was a very popular man, so like he should be out there. So didn't get to really ask any questions on anything coming down the pipe. So I'm looking forward to being surprised when I show up to the booth next April.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, I'm getting to the end here of my my green iguana, and it's nice and sweet, and really getting that green tea coming through now.
I enjoyed this a lot. It is 3 cigars in 1. 3 completely different cigars in 1. I will add to that. So, you did a good job on working on this blend, and whoever put it together for you really did a fantastic job of giving you really something different and unique. And my only critique was that center portion. I wanted more sweetness from that Candela.
Right.
In that blend in the middle. But other than that, I think it's a fantastic smoke.
Thank you.
Is this going to be available on the website?
It is www.theboutiquecigar.com. The search bar on every page, just type in triple play or the duetto, which is a beautiful barbershop bowl, or the green iguana. And we got about 40 custom blends. Like I said, we've got all name brands featuring West Tampa tobacco proudly. And Hiram and Solomon, we do a big job with Hiram and Solomon. They do a fantastic job. Good people. Also a boutique cigar that they put out only quality cigars. So that's who I want to be surrounded by. And like I said,
I think you do a good job. And then I'll hold this up again for the people so you can see all the brands that they stock. There you go. Out there. And his pricing. I don't know how this man stays in business with his pricing. I looked through some of them and I'm like, man, you can't find that at that price at any retail shop. How is he selling it for that price? Wow. So, great job. Then some of the custom blends, again, him and his wife have put together out there. So definitely check them out. I got a direct link down in the description that'll take you right there. And there's a promo code there too. So,
there is.
So you can save yourself some coinage on an order, whether you want to get a custom blend or you want to pick up one of the over 40 name brand cigars that he also carries there, because I am a man of the people, here to take care of you, the people.
All right. So we got a promo code only for Big D. It's Big D 15. So when you check out, put Big D 15 when check out and your promotional code, and you'll get 50% off your entire order.
Wow.
And I've got links to all of the social medias down there as well. And I'll make, after this ends here, I'll put all of West Tampa's social media in the description as well for everybody, just in case you haven't had West Tampa or you want to check out what more of what West Tampa has to offer out there. I highly recommend it. Rick is a legend out there, good friend of the show. So I'm happy that Gus was able to come on and kind of give us a little bit more of an insight of what's going on in the West Tampa world out there.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
And guys, anything you would like to end the show out with tonight? I'll hand it over to you guys to promote anything you'd like to promote.
Well, real quick, over here at the TBC this week, my wife wants me definitely to go broke. So any TBC signature blend that you buy this week is buy one, get one free. And that's good till Thursday. So every time I get an order, I cry. But she likes to make everybody happy. And so buy one, get one free, no coupon necessary. So if you buy a TBC signature Maduro, you buy one, we'll give you one. You buy 5, we'll give you 5. You buy 20, we'll give you 20. And that's good till Thursday. We want everyone to get a chance to try our blends.
Excellent. There, Gus?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, in parting, I want to thank you guys, both Ira and Big D, for having me on the show. Like I said, Rick sends his regards from Europe. and really appreciates all the support. And for everybody else who joined us today, thanks a lot for hearing me out today about West Tampa. Hopefully, if you are smoking West Tampa, thank you. If not, definitely when you're picking up a green iguana, maybe throw a West Tampa in the bag with you. And again, thank you guys. We do this for you. I mean, let's be honest. Without you guys, we're just a couple of guys playing with plants. So thanks a lot for everything, and look forward to being on again. And hopefully next time Rick can join us.
Yes,
that'll be awesome.
Love
hey,
it, Rick.
one last thing, if I can throw it out
Sure.
there. One of my brand ambassadors, great guy, Keith Meisner, just came out with a book called Puff and Ponder. It's just little tidbits about smoking experience. It's available if you go to www.theboutiquecigar.com. Go to the bottom of the first page, click the link, and it'll take you right to the book. You can purchase it. It's a fun book if you're a cigar lover like myself. It's a fun reading. Something you can just pick up and get a good laugh once in a while. So
there you go.
Just pick up Puff and Ponder.
The legend himself there, Kevin Cheyenne from Cigar Prop. They're letting everybody know about that as well. So thank you much. And that's it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Chat, you guys crushed it as usual out there. And next Monday night, we got the guys from Friends Cigars joining in. So we get a little bit of the DFW coming back on the show. Been quite a bit from the DFW recently, but they got a lot going on in out there in the DFW. So we'll catch up with them and see what they got going on. I'm excited to actually try their cigars. Never had them before. So
a big thank you very much for having me back again. It's always fun to spend time with you. And Gus, great speaking with you tonight.
I really appreciate you hopping on last second. When a guest cancels out on you, you're kind of like, what do you do? And you go, and I'm glad Ira and Gus were free to be able to come on tonight to hang out and help out, put on a show. So much appreciated out there. So everybody, and of course, everybody, if you're not subscribed to the legend himself, Kevin, this dude, one of the best dudes in the industry there. Man, I learned so much from watching this guy out there. If you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to Kevin and Cigar Prop. Excellent show. Monday night, excellent show out there. Everything he does is fantastic. And of course, his line of cigars, they're also banger. I don't know if he still has any out there and available, but if he does, go pick them up. So guys, we'll see you all next week. Take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything Ira and Gus and I wouldn't do, because we're sweet and innocent boys. And we will see you all later, everybody. Peace out.